Today, I want to share with you one of my biggest financial regrets I've ever had. No, it's not a car, it's not a watch, it's not anything that I could use every day. It's this, my racing simulator. And I know what you're thinking. It's absolutely awesome, right? It's the coolest thing since sliced bread. And while I thought that when I first got it, it's anything but that now for me. But before we get into why I regret my racing simulator so much, we should probably start back at the beginning, right? Of what got me into the racing simulator and why I thought I would love it so much. So it all started a few years back when we were visiting my wife's family and we happened to be at her cousin's house. And her cousin's husband happen to be into video games like myself. Okay, very cool. We can talk about stuff, right? We can get going. Awesome. And he said he had a racing simulator. Me, not knowing too much about it, but I know enough, cool, right? Steering wheel, all that stuff. But he proceeds to pull out the coolest setup of a racing chair with swappable steering wheels and all this cool stuff. And he loaded up a game for me. I played it. I believe it was like some type of Formula One racing game, and I fell in love. I instantly knew I had to have a racing simulator. And then I got the bug, right? Just like with anything, like when you get your first tattoo or you buy like your first watch or anything like that. For me, obviously, I didn't buy anything, but I used a racing simulator and I just knew I had to have one. But I did what I thought was the right thing and I waited and I waited and I waited and I did research on which one I should get and the different types of racing seats and the different types of chairs and everything. I researched everything. And for months, I didn't buy anything for 6 or 7 months. And then I settled on Logitech. I love Logitech. I love most of their stuff. So I got the Logitech G Pro X with the steering wheel and the pedals and all that good stuff, right? Now they have even more for the ecosystem, which is really cool. And I got a next level racing seat. Behind me, as I'm sure everyone can tell from my videos, is a TV, and that's also on a mount that can be moved around so you can easily move it wherever you want to, right? It's really cool. What happened was, and this is why I regret it, I spent all this money, to be honest, probably somewhere in the sums of 2 to 3,000. I also, mind you, upgraded my GPU because I was pretty sure I needed that for a lot of the racing games I wanted to play, right? So that is one thing. So I played the heck out of this thing when I first got it. I was using it all the time. Every time I could play games, I was playing a racing game. But then what happened? I started playing a little bit less, a little bit less, and a little bit less. Until the time came where it's starting to collect a little bit of dust. I haven't touched it in a month or 2 or 3. And then before you know it, it was like it wasn't even there. It was taking up the space, but I wasn't using it. And so that leads me into my third topic of, do I still use it? And I do. I do still use it. And as a matter of fact, it's one of those things that's also fantastic if you have people over that have never played it. Now, I'm not trying to give them the bug that I got to go out and buy one, but if they've never played it and you have friends or family over or anyone, it is super fun to watch them play. Load up any of your favorite racing games or driving games, and they're gonna have a blast. I guarantee it. Sometimes I wish I could just like set it up on like a huge projector and just like let everybody play it like we're at an arcade or something. It is super fun. And also, there's new games that come out all the time, right? There's new things that happen. Games I hadn't checked out in months had updates, and I've been playing them and I love them. So I think it's one of those things. While I'm not going to be playing it every time I play games, I still think I'll still get some use out of it. And for that reason, I'm going to keep it. And that leads me into my next topic, which is, would I sell it? Now, I debated selling it, right? And from the research I've done, it's like anything else, right? Secondhand, you're just not going to get that much for it. At this point, I mean, everything still works, everything works great, and I have the means to be able to house it, right? I have the space for it for now, and for that reason, I'm probably just going to keep it. Like I said, people have a blast when they come over to play it, and I still get on every once in a while to play any number of racing games, or sometimes just to play something pretty laid back like American Truck Simulator or something, right? So, for those reasons, I think I will be keeping it. And then we're going to get into the last part of this video, which is how to prevent doing something like this, right? Making a financial mistake like this, and what I would do or redo in my situation. And for starters, I think research is super important. Like I said, I did tons of research for months. All I did was research it, watched videos, just every day I was searching something about racing simulators, down to, what type of seat to get and all these different things. If I need socks, like special racing socks, do I need gloves? All this type of stuff, right? Um, and it can be a little bit daunting. You can get down the rabbit hole of, well, you need triple monitors and a VR headset, and I'm going to put a fan over here to simulate the wind blowing in my hair. I didn't want to get all that crazy, right? And I'm not knocking anybody that does get into it that much, because there's some super talented people out there on these things. But to get back on topic here, like I said, research is super important with anything you're going to do, anything you're going to get into, anything you're going to buy. Research it, research it, research it, which is what I did. But what I found in the research that I ignored was multiple people saying you should really dip your toes in this hobby before just jumping straight into it. Meaning, I should buy an entry level setup for, say, a few $100s and see if I'm going to use it all the time. Am I going to be using it every time I play games? Is it going to be one of my staples, one of my main things I'm always running to? And then, if I'm using it all the time, upgrade to a better setup. But I didn't want to listen to that advice. I thought for sure I'm going to use the heck out of this thing. I'm going to use it all the time. I'm going to use it so much it's going to get worn out. Well, that didn't happen. And I also follow a thing, a lot of people have heard of, which is buy it for life, right? I wanted to buy what I thought for me was in game, right? The end all be all setup. I'm gonna get this one, and I'm never gonna want to upgrade it because it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna have everything I need, everything I want to do. It's gonna be fantastic. And it was, and to me, it is fantastic. But I probably could have had just as much fun spending a quarter of what I actually spent on this. So I hope anyone out there can learn something from this. it's life. We're all going to have regrets, especially financial regrets. And I'm sure down the road, I'm going to have more regrets. I'm going to have more financial regrets. That's just part of life. But like I said, if you do your research and you just really give a lot of thought to things before you jump into it, and don't ignore things like I did with not kind of dipping my toes in a hobby before just jumping straight into it, then maybe you won't have a regret like me on this. So, anyways, I hope this can help anyone out there. Once again, I'm Jay, and I'm just an average guy trying to help anyone out there that I can to learn from my financial mistakes and also grow with me as I try to become debt free